Okay, quick video. I'm going to try to make this as quick, clear, and concise as possible for those people that are about to get into the endeavor of building their own place, their own home. So me and my wife are wrapping up the building of our log cabin here. Um, and a couple things you're going to run into when you're cruising online, and obviously the biggest thing for most people is things associated with the budget of building a home. Here's what we did to control our budget, because as much as people say it's impossible, we came in on budget with this build. How did we do it? A couple things. You may not be in this situation, but I was able to be the general contractor, so to speak, on this build. What did that entail? That entailed my wife sourcing the quotes for the well, for the foundation, for the excavation, and then me just being here. After we've chosen who we chose, me just being here and kind of just overseeing what was being done. So that's one way we generaled it. We didn't hand that just over to a company or a building company to say, here, you take care of it all. We found our own foundation company. We had them in. We found our own excavation guy. He came in. He worked with the foundation guy. It was fine. We found a well company to do our well, our septic. Same guy that did our excavation. So we just handled all of that. People came in when they could. We told them if it was okay for them to come in at that time or not, if it worked for us or not. If it didn't, they rescheduled. That stuff was fine. Then we got the actual construction, the carpentry of the log home, which we hired a guy and we told him, fine, we want you to bring it to watertight, but we also want you to find the HVAC, the plumbing, and the electrical guy. And the reason why we did that is because we gave him the control of scheduling all of that, because I didn't want to be responsible for holding anybody up when this thing came to be risen up from the ground. So that was fine. I did not hand over the materials to the contractor. I took care of all the materials, and the way we did that is we went to a local building center. We handed them our plans, and we said, here, this is the house we're building. This was a log kit. So the kit came, the logs, actually not up there, but this base of logs here that you see here from the foundation to the roof line, that was a kit. So everything else we needed, this is all stick frame. This is the roof, all the partition walls inside, the deck. Everything else is all outside of the kit. Even the windows, you get the picture. The flooring inside, all that's outside the kit. So we needed to source all of those materials, all the 2x4s, everything. So we handed these drawings over to the building center, our local building center, and we said, here, this is our plan. What other materials that they need? They came back about, I don't know, I'm going to say about a month later, and gave us a itemized list of all the other materials that they felt were going to be associated with this build, right down to the amount of nails, the amount of silicone, PL Premium, everything that they felt that we needed for this build. It was very thorough. Having done that for us, we then gave them our business. And so my contractor had no control over the materials. I had the control over the materials. That protected me. Any unethical contractors, and I'm not saying ours was at all, but I'm just saying, if you happen to run into that, because you don't really know at the time, that's where they're going to get you. They're going to get you on the materials. That's the easiest place to manipulate. That's the money that they want up front, and blah, 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 blah. You can go online and read all the stories, and a lot of the horror stories associated with the build and people getting ripped off are associated with materials, 90% of them. So when it came time to, let's say, build the shed dormer, and my contractor needed the stick framing for that, he let me know we're starting the shed dormer in a day or two. All I had to do was call my building center and say, listen, anything that's materials associated with the shed dormer, can you please have them delivered? And I would have them there on site, and sometimes a day or two, sometimes even a week before they needed them, and they were on site. So The other thing you want to avoid in order to stay on budget is change orders, changing aspects of the design mid-go. And I know that's not always easy, but if you can avoid it, you can save yourself a lot of money. And for example, originally we had two dormers on the other side of this building. Now, when we handed this design over to our contractor who was building it, he gave us a price to build it. Now, did he itemize every single aspect of the build? Oh, it's going to cost, this much to build this shed dormer. It's going to cost this much to put the windows in. It's going to cost this much to put one shed dormer in, or dormer on the other side, the second dormer. No, this is the build price. It was labeled as siding. It was labeled as framing. It was labeled as roofing. It was, and so on and so forth. We removed those two dormers on the other side to save costs. Now, as far as material goes, we knew exactly what we were saving in materials because we controlled the material aspect of everything. So we knew what those materials were, what we were saving by removing them. His labor costs, he told us a number that, okay, you're taking those out, the quote is reduced by this much. Okay. Now, let's say it costs $10,000 in labor, just a number off my head, to put those two dormers in. Did he come to me and say, Mr. So-and-so, yeah, now that you're taking them out, I'm reducing them by $10,000? Or did he say, you know what, yeah, okay, I'll reduce it by $6,500? You get what I'm saying? You lose control when you start making changes. And I'm not saying that happened to us. All I'm saying is that can happen, and you can run into the potential of that. If you want to stay on budget, control your materials and control the aspects of the build with as little changes as possible. If you do those two things, you can come in on budget, as we did. I think we're proof of that. So just wanted to come up here, give you guys some tips. I know there's a lot of information out there, and I just thought I'd add to that. Good luck on your build.